Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel. Great to be back guys with another video on just some tips and tricks on vehicle splines. And I'm busy on the Nevada South Africa map, just placing down some vehicle splines, and in the process, obviously, like usual, stuff doesn't always pan out as you think, you know. So I thought I'll just share a few things with you guys. It's going to be a short video, not too long, hopefully. I actually don't want to make this part of the video series because it's just going to be a video all on its own. We'll tackle another video on the video series soon. So I was just thinking I'll share some tips with you. Now, the very first thing, if you don't have a proper set up splines transform in your map, it's very simple and easy to get. All you do is go file, import, and you can grab any one of the in-game ones. I've just normally used the first one available, which is obviously map Alpine. So I just go to the in-game directory. But let me stop right here first and say a warm welcome to you if this is your first time on the channel. Great to see you. And yeah, just remember to hit that subscribe button and do like if you do like the content. Appreciate, man. Grab yourself something nice to drink. I'm having some coffee in the background, so excuse my slurping now and then. It's nice to just keep the throat a bit lubricated, you know. Good stuff. All right, so in the in-game maps, every map has got a vehicle spline, you know. Sorry, I can't import. I'm talking trash. What you need to do is open the in-game maps. So in Farming Simulator 22 data maps, let's go Alpine and just open the Alpine map. So double click on that, 904 obviously. And while I'm there, I just quickly want to save my map before something goes wrong and the map crashes, because working with splines, guys, frequently save. That's the first tip I can give you. Every 5 minutes, just hit that save button. It doesn't take much to go up there and just click save i3D, because you'll thank me later for that. I mean, nothing so horrible than you've worked like half an hour or an hour on a spline and whoop, the map crashes and all your work is gone. It's happened 2 or 3 times to me already, just in this map. But what I want to share with you, I figured out some way to let that not happen, or happen less. So I'll share that with you now in a flash as well. But let's first just go to the in-game map. So all you do is go into gameplay and find the splines folder or transform. Click on that, go file, export selection with files. Go into your map. My map is now under mods. I work directly out of my mods file. That's why it's there. So into your map. You can create a folder anywhere. It doesn't really matter. You're going to delete it anyway. Just going to say here, new folder. Just leave it like that. Open it up and say spline. Just like that. And hit enter. When it asks you these 2 questions, you just go yes at both of them. Close the in-game map. And now in your map, you come here to file, import, and it will take you automatically to your last thing. Double click on that or just click open, and it will drop it in here for you. Alright, now I've already got one, so I don't want to trash mine now because I've spent hours on it already. But in here, you'll find a traffic system and a pedestrian and an AI system, you know. So all you need is just one of them. So take any one of these. What is this? This is pedestrians. Alright, just leave one for yourself, like there's a nice one, and then delete the rest, because you're going to reuse them, you know, or recreate them. So that one's you delete like so. Alright, that's the one. And then in the traffic system, the same. Keep yourself one nice one. It doesn't matter the amount of nodes, because you're going to create and add and subtract nodes as well. But take a note, guys. You'll see most of these splines doesn't have a lot of nodes. That one, strangely enough, has got a lot of nodes. But what I've realized is, if you have more than like 20 nodes on a spline, you're starting to work nicely, and boop, the map crashes if there's more than 20 nodes on a spline. So keep your nodes short and have short pieces, you know, don't go overboard. So delete all of them, keep one of them, and that's it, and drop this into your gameplay folder, like I've got mine here under gameplay, and drop that whole thing Control X to cut it and drop it in your gameplay so it sits here. And then another tip, guys, I don't have parked vehicles in mind, but if you go now to this map, you'll see traffic system right at the bottom. They don't have parked vehicles. No, also no parked vehicles in the traffic spline. That's strange. Oh no, that's mine, man. Sorry, here we go. It should be here at the bottom. Let's have a look if they've got parked vehicles. And it should be not hidden. Normally parked vehicles. Yes, here we go. Parked cars. Now, this parked cars always have that at the very bottom. Don't put that in between your stuff, because then your splines don't work. So very big tip there for you guys. If you make use of the parked cars, don't have it above or in between your splines. It must be at the bottom of the traffic system. So in other words, the very last thing in your traffic system directory, I can say, is the parked cars. Alright, so big tip there. Many times I've found myself having the parked cars in between because when you start duplicating them, they normally start at the bottom, you know. Whatever you duplicate, like for instance, if I create this one, duplicate that one, it's going to go below the parked cars. You'll see just now. You see. So now at the end, when you're finished, remember to take the parked cars and put it right at the bottom, or take everything on below it and just move it above it. Like I'm going to take that one. Oh my word, you know, this mouse, brand new mouse I bought, and it's already giving me hassles. So there we go. Drop it up there like so, straight out of map. I don't know what that is, straight out of map. Oh, it's one of these splines here. But anyway, just have everything above your parked cars. Alright, so big tip there. And then we can just delete this now. By the way, once you've finished importing it, you can go into your map folder. Here we go. Where did our placeables? New folder, and delete that whole folder that you've had it in. So it doesn't really matter where you import it from. I just put it in my map just for the fun of it. But once you've imported, you can delete it, because the i3D that you import is absorbed into your map i3D. So it sort of takes it in. Alright, so there you go. I'm just going to delete that one out of my map. It was just an example. Alright, so that was the first tip, guys. Now, the first tip is the parked cars, and then the second one is the amount of nodes in the spline. Keep them short, not too many. If you find your map crashes, you've got too many nodes in your spline. And keep the spline short and curly, short and easy. And remember, if you where you have a start and an end, I'll take you now to a start and an end. I've ended this one here and made another start there. So every start should have an end, and every end should have a start. So at the end of the day, the whole traffic system is one huge big loop, from start to end, start to end, start to end, start to end. For instance, if you go here into this splines traffic system, if you go into this intersection, so I wonder where is this intersection now. I wonder if it was that one, 7, 6, 5, 4. You see this intersection. So for instance, that has got a start and that's an end, but at that end there will be another start as well. You see, because the start will start there. So if I now go to the straights, there's a start and an end. So every end should have a start, because otherwise you're going to get the error like I'm going to show you now. There's a bit of troubleshooting that I'm busy with here. So I've started my map to test, and my cars wasn't running. So immediately what I do is I go open the game log file, and the game log file is found here in your mods directory. So you go to where your mods is. So you just go one back to Farming Simulator, and then here's your game log. So open that up, Control F, type in error, and it will take you to your first error. In my case, it's the traffic system spline. It's the one I'm looking for. It says here, traffic system road spline intersection 8, dead end found. All right, and then traffic system road spline straight 15, dead end found. So when you get the error that says dead end found, it means there's a spline that's open and it's not connected to something. Now it could be when you are placing the start and the ends, they must be magnetically connected. So if I go to intersection 2, 3. If I go to that one, where the start and the end comes together, I'll show you now. So if I go now, press the right button to go to the start of the spline, and then if I keep on going right, I'll go through all the nodes up to the end. So now if I go to the end and I go Control and B to replace it, you see that it will magnetically click onto the start that is lying there. So I'm going to just put it down there, and I'll show you there's the start of the other spline that's here. So if I go now to, it was straight something, straight 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So where is that straight now? Oh, sorry, it's an intersection. I was busy. I'm busy figuring out or playing around with new ways of doing it. There it is. You see, there is a start for it. So if I now go to, was it straight 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No, it was an intersection, man. There you go. Take that E again. I have to right arrow now up to here, like so. Control B. And there it is. You see it magnetically jumps to that start. So if it doesn't do that, you're going to have a problem. It needs to have that magnetic click. It's like a jump. It jumps onto the start, you know. Once you see that, you know it's connected and you won't have problems again. So I'm currently having a problem with intersection 8 and straight 15. So now I can go here to intersection 8 and have a look. It says that there's an open connection. So the easiest way to find which one it is, so it can either be that one or that one, you know, that is not connected. So I can now just redo both of them. Now the end, how it works, if you select the spline like that, click on it, and you press your right arrow once, it will take you to the start. If you immediately press the left arrow, it will take you to the end. But it only works like that. So say for instance now, let me show you if I do it differently. I'll click on straight. If I press the left arrow, it's not going to jump to my spline. It goes back here in the directory structure of the scene graph. You see, so that is a problem. So you can only use the right arrow. So click on the spline, right arrow wants to take you to start, and if you keep on pressing the right arrow, it will scroll through the nodes, okay, up to the end. That's one way of getting there. The other way is if you, now it's gone crazy, just want to click there again. So if I press right arrow once and left arrow immediately after that, it will immediately take me to the end. So that's a quick way of getting to the end quickly if the spline has got more than like 10 or 12 nodes or whatever, you know. So what I can do now is Control and B and make sure it just clicks onto that. So I know this one is done. So let me check the start once again. So I'm going to re-click it, right arrow, and then just make sure, and there's two splines getting together here, Control and B. So that one is definitely clicked on there. But now I need to verify these into this whole intersection. So I'll have to verify this one connecting there and this one connecting there. So I can now go to see which was that intersection 2. That's the one. So right arrow once, left arrow, and then just make sure it clicks. Control B, click it somewhere else. It is definitely clicking. Alright, so I've definitely got that one connecting. And then I need to find this one coming here. So that was another intersection. There it is. Alright, so that one there. So intersection 4. So I right click, left click to get to the E or the end of it. And then one more time, Control B. That's definitely connected. Alright, so I think that one is now sorted. And now the same thing here, dead end found. Now what you can also do, guys, if it's a spline and you're not sure which end it's talking about, you can take these two coordinates and plant a tree on your map, you know. So just grab a tree. The best is to take anything that has got a 0 translation, you know. So for instance, I have got some trees in my map. You can file import trees. probably be the easiest just to use that as an example. So in-game maps, once again, FS22 data, maps, trees, grab any tree. I'm just going to grab a birch, stage 1, import it, just so that we have something in the map, and immediately you'll see it's got a 0 transform. Control B, drop it here so I can see it, and then go back to the error. Now the error gives you a X and a Z coordinate, so you just copy, oopsie, that was wrong, not Control V, Control C for copy from above, and just overwrite the X and the Z with that. So that is 399. You can copy the whole thing, doesn't matter. Drop that in here, Control V, and it will put the tree for you exactly where the node problem is. Now I know this node because I've done a test. I've done a test here to bring a spline in and connect it just in the middle of another spline instead of at the end, and that just proves to me that the start and ends needs to be connected. So what I've done here, so now I can just delete this tree because I know where this problem is. It's a self-created problem for test purposes, you know. So what I'll do now is grab this. You'll see this end here. So I'm going to right arrow, left arrow to get to E, Control B. There is a little node there, and that is just in the middle of the spline like the other nodes. So I've connected it there just to see if the spline will work, and it didn't work. It gave me that error. And if you've got one error in your entire spline, the vehicles won't flow. So if you see your vehicles aren't flowing, there's an error. So you just have to check your log file for the error. Alright, so for me now it is as simple as just continuing. I know there's an end somewhere here, so all I need to do is put this spline on its own, Control B, go past the current splines like that, and then I'll go Control D on this to duplicate, so make another spline. Alright, rename it to another name. I like to have them separate, so each spline has got its own little name. Alright, so it just makes things not only simpler, but also I think for the total circle of the thing, maybe they get confused if there's like 500 of the one spline, you know, duplicated. So yeah, I'll just keep it simple. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to right arrow once to get to that S there of that new spline that I've made, and I'm going to connect it to its own E, Control B, just magnetic connect it there like so. Alright, and now all I need to do now is right arrow, Control B, and just come in here in between all the others, right arrow, Control B, just follow this as a new spline. And now I'm just going to jump right to the end here. I know there's a start and an end right here. I think that's an end. Alright, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, like so. That's one, right arrow once, Control B, jump up to here. I think should be alright. As long as it doesn't connect on the other splines, guys. Don't let it magnetic connect to the others. That other blue dots. So just go in between them. Control B. They mustn't be connecting to each other. So I just want this spline to go right there to the end, because I know there's an end here, right at that spot there. Alright, so right arrow, Control B. I don't know how many nodes I've still got left, so I'm just going to carry on. Looks like we've got quite a bit of nodes left. Okay, Control B, right arrow, Control B. I think I'm going to have too many, so all I'll do now is a right arrow once and press delete until the E jumps to where I am. You see, so I'll just keep on pressing delete on the previous node, and then once I get to the E will jump into the node where I am. Okay, so now I can show you that that is an E there by just selecting it. That's a start, but there's also an E there. Alright, so let's go back to that last spline, right, left arrow, and Control B, and make sure it jumps to that one there. Nice. Okay, so that's the end. Good. So I think my loops are now all done. What? Why I didn't have an intersection here is because I had to come all the way up to here. So it's just a different way of routing my traffic, you know. So it's not the right way. You would rather have an intersection at every intersection, but I've just come around to this one, just running through there to cover this area here. Okay, so let's save the map and have a quick browse and see if it works. Great, so let's jump into the game. Nice. A quick check. There we go. And now I'm just toggling my tilde key to see the log so that I can see if there's an error flying by. I still have 1 or 2 yellow warnings that I need to focus on later on. It's part of the conversion stuff that I haven't sorted out in the map conversion yet. So we'll quickly have a look now and see if this is sufficient. What's there? Oh, there is still a red error there. So that red error tells me there is still a problem somewhere. Somehow I've got a thing that's still not linked. And that basically, guys, is how you should auto drive. Now I'm quickly going to go back here to just want to jump in to town. Where was I? I was busy here. Is it that? And you can see I still have my splines visible, because once I'm done with everything I'll make them invisible. But for currently, just to show you that it's definitely got a problem, there's no vehicles running. That is one of the issues. Alright, so just come out. So I've just got one problem now still. I'm interested to see which one is left, you know. So I'll leave my logs open. So if I come to my log again, it will ask me to reload it, and I'll go yes. And normally it will keep you at the place where you were. So it is at intersection 8, still a dead end. So let us find intersection 8. It is still there. So it's where this two comes together. There's definitely a problem. Intersection 8. Let me just check which one was it. So let me import another birch tree. Which end is it? The start or the end? I can guarantee you it's that one there. But it's strange that that it's not showing up. You know, very strange. So let us go into translation X for that. And we want Z as well. Copy. Huh? Where's the tree? I don't see it. Focus. The trees underneath the map. Okay, my word. It is definitely that one. If I bring it out, no, it's there. So it's telling me the problem is at this node, but that's not intersection 8, you lying scum. Intersection 8 is like far away from that. I mean, intersection 8's up there. And this tells me birch stage 1 is there. It's got this node here. I wonder. Let me fix this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this tree here just for fun. I'll make as if somebody planted it here. Probably better there. And then check this node out. But this node is open. I haven't finished this piece of thing yet. This is a a straight there, ag 'n intersection. Which one is it? Intersection 9, intersection 10, intersection 8. Oh, it's intersection 8. It's intersection 8. Why am I clicking on straight 8? Guys, so I'm the scum. Okay, excellent. So all I need to do is just finish this piece of spline into town, and it should be A for away. I can quickly actually just grab a straight here. Let me quickly do it. Control D, straight 16, make it 17, like so. Enter, and then right click, Control B to bring the start here. Click it on there. You saw it jump nicely. Right click, Control B. I'm going to show you a quick way to add nodes too. Right click, Control B. So if we run out of nodes before we are at the next jump. So this is don't press F. This is a nice long straight, so I can skip up to where the road starts bending for the next one. Control B, drop it in there. Yeah, nice. Right click, right arrow, sorry, not right click, guys. Right arrow. And you have to be careful with these nodes, because sometimes you click on something that's higher than your map, or like on the tree stop or something, and then it doesn't place it on the ground, it puts it in the air. Now here where the corners or the bends are, you might want to go a little bit more nodes just to follow the bend easy. So now you are there at the E, and I still need quite a few little splines, but I want to come up to here with the E, so I can go into here and come back and then have a sort of an intersection here. So what I need to do now is just add 2 or 3 nodes. So I'm going to go Control B off the road and then hit insert 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will place 4 new nodes. And at that node where I am, don't move the arrow, just go Control B and place that node, see. And then right arrow again, Control B, so it will follow the node stream again up to the E. Right click, Control B, right click, Control B. So I'm going to go up to there with the E, which is nice. So there you are. So that's the end of that spline. So now I'll create a new one, Control D, and that will be straight 18. Now this straight, what I'm going to do now is just go right arrow, Control B to bring the S over, jump up to that, right arrow, Control B, Control B. So what I want to do is just 4 nodes here for this straight little bit of intersection, and then I'm going to go right arrow once, so it'll take me to the next node, and then I'll press delete, keep on pressing delete until my end jumps here, like so, and there you are. That's now the end of the spline. So now I'll quickly grab 17 again, Control D, and make that 19 the new one, so because that straight 18 is a shorty, make that 19. And then select it. It's best to click off it and click on it again, and then right arrow, Control B, bring the S in, let it magnetically go. Right. And then I need to now make some sort of a U-turn. And it's a pity they don't show the start and ends of all the nodes, you know, because I've got everything is highlighted and my tracking system is visible. But still, and even my splines are visible, but they only show the active spline. So it would have been nice if they kept the start and end showing, you know, so you can know where the start and ends are. Because I must try and remember where the start and ends are. I sort of think there's one here somewhere, yeah. But anyways, so that spline is coming this way, coming around, and we are now here. So what I'm going to do with 19, the second one, that's the second spline, bring it in, come off the tar, Control B, and I'll bring this boy over this cell point. And what I normally do is one before the cell point, one in the middle of the cell point, and one at the end, just for the fun of it. And then we're going to go around B, right arrow B, right arrow B. The more splines you put on a bend, the nicer your bend looks. That's just a tip there, guys. And now for some reason I know for a fact that one there is a start and an end, you see. So it helps to remember. But now I have to reselect my spline, and then right arrow, and then just come through the nodes up to the last one that was there, and then the next one, Control B. And now I'm going to just carry on until I find my E. So that is my E, and I'm going to make that jump up to there. Right, like so. Okay, so that's fine. Alright, good. So let us save the maps there, and let's quickly jump into the game and see. Once it says ready, we are ready. Quick test. So that's a few tips for you guys, just on spline work. Don't make your splines, I'll say, more than 20 nodes. It just saves you that headache of having a crash. For some reason, my system isn't like the toppest notch of systems. It might be, I can't think that it's processing or anything. It's just got something to do with the amount of nodes. Once there's a plenty of nodes, I'll quickly show you just for the fun of it. Once we're done here, just to prove my point, and then I'll quickly show you what happens. So let's go to this thingamabob, and now we have cars running. You see, the moment we see cars, we know our traffic spline is working. Okay. And my pedestrians are also walking. I've already done the pedestrians. But I mean, I've made videos on both these topics. It's nothing new. It's just things. Now, actually, what should have happened here, guys, is yeah, I should not have rerouted my traffic over a cell point, because you should rather have this an AI spline. This little bit here, it's like a detour. You have that in AI spline, so put that under your AI, then the traffic won't run here. So because you don't want to have traffic over your cell point when your tractor wants to park there and whatever, you know. So that's another well, that's actually how it's supposed to work. It's not really a tip. That's how it's supposed to work. So don't put your splines over your cell points like I've done here now. So I'm going to have to take this and just reroute it, let one spline over to the AI section. Okay, so it's working beautifully. That's all I wanted to check, was just to verify that it's now working. But let me quickly show you what happens when you put a bit more nodes into a spline. So what I'm saying is, you take this spline now and just take straight section 9 or straight 19. Come on, what's happening here now? There you go. I'm waiting for this thing to wake up. So you'll take that one and drop it into your AI. Now, like so, you see, so that becomes now an AI spline, but you can't, it's not a vehicle spline now. This is for your tractors and stuff, so you need to replace this one. So basically, let's duplicate that, Control D. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have duplicated AI. That's not good, delete that. I must just duplicate the spline, open that up, Control D, and drop that one back in here, like so. And then all I do is make a U-turn. Where can I make a U-turn with the vehicles here? Because it needs to go in there. I'll figure it out later on. But what I want to show you is, the moment you have more than I will say about 20, somewhere around there, 20 or 30 nodes in a spline. As you work with that, it gives problems. So what I'm going to do, grab a right arrow and I'm going to go right to the end. Control B, drop my end somewhere else, and then insert. I'm going to insert a lot of nodes here, like maybe 20 or 30 nodes. So if you have an amount of nodes like that, and now we are there at the last one we've inserted. Now if I go start placing these nodes, Control B, right arrow, Control B, right arrow, Control B. If I now start placing these nodes, this is when the hassles happen. You're working nicely and you think everything is a-okay. So I'm going to just go crazy here with this. I'm letting this guy drive all over the field. Not good. So let me just come up here. Let's make a nice little loop here. Like so. So once I get to the end of this, I don't think I'm still there yet where there's too many nodes. But you can see it's a fair amount of nodes. So don't be scared to have like maybe 30 nodes or what. But I don't think you should go more than 30, because it's definitely going to bite you. It's happened to me like 10 times this morning. Now I don't know if there was a problem, because I did reboot my system and I did upgrade my graphics drivers just for the heck of it, you know. And I haven't had a problem since, but I know for a fact I've done it like 10 times. Crash, save, crash, when I've had too many nodes, you know. So here we go. So now I'm going to just put my E far away and then insert another 10. Okay, Control B, let's just work through them. Oops, what was that now? You see if you that little circle starts, there you go. There you go, gone. That's what happens, guys. If you see that little circle, it's the end of your story. That's just my log that came up. Alright, so that's my tip there, guys. Do not put too many nodes in, and also check the other ones that I've just mentioned now. Remember that your vehicle spline as well as your pedestrian spline is one huge loop. So from start to end, through all the start and ends, and each start needs to be connected to the next. Each end of a spline needs to be connected to the start of the next spline. So it's like the Skylectric sets that you used to have in the old days. They connect to one another to form one track. So it's one single track, but made out of a lot of sections. So that's basically, and each section obviously has a start and an end, and the end needs to be onto the start to continue the spline. You see, so that's basically what's happening. Great, man. Well, guys, I hope it's been a short and insightful video with a few little tips there for traffic splines. I hope it helps. It definitely helps me, because I haven't been crashing for past hour or two, you know. So definitely it does definitely make a difference to keep the nodes under like, I keep mine under 20, but I think if you're under 30 you're still safe, you know. But I don't know if there is an amount, or if it's just whatever it is. The problem is it's a problem with too many nodes. If you see your game keeps crashing when you are doing splines. Okay, guys, take care, man. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I do appreciate every one of you guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care, man. Cheers.